All right, guys, this is another day that the Lord has made. I just wanted to come in and, guys, some of the things I talk about here on Sundays, it's not the easiest thing to do. The time my sister wouldn't let me see my mother, and she was, blood pressure, what they said was 200. She should have been dead. And for my sister to tell the doctors and the nurses that my mother didn't want to see me, and I talked about this before, and I came home and came in the garage here after leaving the hospital, after they wouldn't let me see my mother, talking about calling the police or whatever. And I came, home, came in the garage, and I fell on the floor and I cried like a baby. And the Lord told me to get up and get it situated. That's not the easy thing to come on this channel, or even just tell a friend, or just tell people that I do it. I think when it happened, I might have told like my guy Binky, because he's around me so much, but it wasn't easy to admit, what my sister did, and then on top of that, me crying like a baby. I mean, I cried like a baby, guys. It's not an easy thing for me to do. But this is what the Lord got me doing, telling things that I've been through and things that's going on in my life. And I don't know if it's maybe, I don't know God's will, but apparently He's got me doing it. If it helps one person, get through something or get saved, or show them just one person a week, I'm okay with that. So all I'm saying is not an easy thing to do, guys, is come and say, hey, I'm going to let, because, people, I go to shows, all different type of shows, people say, oh, he cried, God is going to take care of me wherever I go, but some people might take that as a weakness, when I'm not, but it's not easy to tell, because people will judge you from things that you do or have did, but that's okay. God got me doing this on Sundays for a reason. So today I'm working on the window channel, and I've been down. I worked all last week, but the week before I was down, and I was pretty sick. They say pneumonia, started pneumonia, whatever they said, but I was pretty down, guys. And a few weeks back, a month and a half ago, if you watch the channel, I talked about my brother when the Lord told me to make that left go up, talk to my brother. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I was trying not to do it, but God was constantly on me, and I did it. So since then, today I'm working on this window channel, and the Lord had already been letting me know, talk to your brother by the weekend, So I called my brother, and because when my brother, they wasn't expecting for him to come home, he probably thought he wasn't coming. He wasn't, I didn't really, but from what I was hearing from everybody, like they wasn't expecting for him to come home. And I went up, me and my brother prayed. He said he gave his life to the Lord, and he said he was going to go to church when he got out of, if he made it home. Well, it's been a month and a half, and he hasn't went to church. So about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, about 2 weeks after he was off the hospital, he was strong enough, he came down to see my mother. So at that point, God told me, he said, talk to your brother, because he haven't done what he said he was going to do, what he told me he was going to do. So I'm hard-headed, guys. I know my brother, you know, and so I didn't want to, I didn't call him. I didn't call him. Is that why I got sick? I really don't know. I know I was being disobedient because I didn't make the call, you know. Then a week or 2 weeks later, I'm sick and I'm down. But while I'm laying there, the Lord is telling me so many different things. And even about church. So even though I'm a man of God, I haven't been going to church in a year and a half just because of the politics in the church. But he's dealing with me with that too. So I asked the Father, I'm like, God, I said, how is he going to accept that from me telling him, you know, you need to go to church when I don't go to church? You know, I listen to the Bible, like while I'm on the truck, you know, I pray. I mean, I don't go out and sin. I'm not sinning. I just, you know, don't like the politics that in the church when I was there. So, the Lord let me know, like, you can go to your brother and ask him, have you been listening to the word on your phone? Have you been reading the Bible? Have you been doing anything? Because see, when you make God a promise, it's good to stick to that. So I called my brother today, you know, because the Lord been dealing with me, and I've been, like I say, not trying to do, because I know my brother. So I called him today, and I asked him, you know, like, Robert, have you know, I didn't even start off with church. I'm like, Robert, have you been following up, like, reading the Bible? Have you been doing anything, you know? He said, I pray every morning. And he said, I'm doing things my way. So I try to tell him, Robert, you need to, like, kind of get off into the Bible, even if you listen to it on your phone, and learn God's ways. You know, you got to learn God's ways. You can't tell the Lord, I'm going to quit doing this, or I'm going to quit doing that, and don't keep your promise that you make between you and the Father. So, get off here. I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm going to hang up. You know, I said, well, Rob, you know, if you go to church, you will learn things about the Lord. You will, you know. So, when I told him the part about, you know, like keeping promises to the Lord, it's good to follow that up. You know, the first thing out of his mouth was, oh, you're not going to scare me. And that's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to scare my brother. That's not what I was trying to do, because when I first got saved, I had a cousin that I was talking to, and I was saying all kind of things, you know, you're gonna go to hell, you're gonna burn, you're gonna this and that. And the Lord told me, don't ever do that again. Don't ever try to scare a person into coming to me. The Lord told me, just follow Jesus, you know, the way he walked. Try to be like Jesus and walk your walk and let your light shine in front of everybody that you come in contact with. You ain't got to scare them to me. Just show people how you living and let me do the rest. So I was not trying to scare my brother today. But when he said that, it made me think about when I first got saved. And the Lord told me not to do that again. So I wasn't trying to scare my brother. I'm just trying to tell him, get off into God's word. So, and I don't even, my brother don't watch the channel. So I'm not saying this even right now that he will see this and, you know, oh, he even trying to scare me even more. My brother don't watch the channel, you know. So he's not off in the cars. He don't watch the channel. So that's not what I was trying to do, guys. But man, when you make an oath to God, it's best to stick to that oath. You know. So I did what the Lord wanted me to do and talked to my brother. Now my wife, she said, well, you know, it might not have worked out because you didn't go when God told you to go at first, 3 weeks ago. That could be. I don't know God's ways. I don't know God's ways. All I know is that it's a good chance he might have put me on my back because I was being disobedient. But I still don't know God's ways. I don't know if that's why I got so sick I didn't even feel like doing anything. I don't know God's ways. But what I feel is he's trying to teach me right now is when I tell you to go left or go right, you need to go left or go right. Don't keep ignoring me because I am the Lord, your God. So guys, you know, I pray for my brother. I pray for him. I can't make him, you know, that ain't even what I was trying to do. I was just trying to let him know. You didn't know you was coming home. You feeling real good now. The Lord is constantly blessing you. But you made an oath to him to come home when nobody was expecting for him to come home. So I'm not trying to scare him. And my brother might live another 10 years, 50 years. I don't really know. All I know is when I don't be obedient, I think things happen to me, guys. And like I said, it's not easy to come on and talk about stuff like this, guys. But maybe what I'm saying is helping somebody else. Maybe the Lord is telling you to do something. And just because you know your brother or your sister or your mother or your child is going to cuss you out, you ignore the Lord when he's telling you to go talk and go do this and go do that. And with that, I'm going to just say, you know, a friend of mine, we started off, he beat me up when I was in like the 4th grade. He didn't, you know, he just pulled my legs and my head hit the locker. And I started crying that day, guys. Yeah, okay, I'm a crybaby. And we ended up being friends, you know, years later after he got out the Army. And I got saved before he passed. A few years before he passed. You know, I think like 4 years before he passed. And we was real close, you know. We used to have these nice New Year Eve parties, and man, we hung out, You know, it was select a few guys that I would let ride to me to Milwaukee when I used to hang out up there. He was one of those guys. It wasn't many. In fact, it wasn't many. He was one of the very few that I would let go up and kick it with me when I went up to Milwaukee. So when he passed, he gave his life to the Lord about a year before he passed. And funeral, his family, a lot of them is from Detroit. And during his service, I just broke out and started praising God and thanking God. And everybody, you know, the pastor, everybody, you know, they were just looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what are you doing? This is not a happy and rejoice for a moment. But for me it was. Because I seen my guy, he gave his life to the Lord a year before he passed. And the day he had the heart attack and died, he was still walking with the Lord. And it got very involved with the church that he was in. So I was thankful. I was not sad. Did I want to lose him? No, I didn't. But it was a joyful moment for me that came over me. The pastor said something, and I was just thankful. I think the pastor got to talking about him giving his life and how he changed his life. And I just broke out and I was just, thank you, Jesus. Because I know he did. I had seen him change his life around because I know how he was. I knew how I was. He had really changed. He had really gave his life to the Lord. So guys, it's not easy for me to come on and talk about a lot of things that I'm going to be talking about that I went through in my life. But it must be necessary because the Lord has have me doing it. So I just want everybody to have a blessed day. Man, stay prayed up. Pray for me, my family. Pray for my brother. Because he shouldn't, well, he should, because the Lord got him where he's at right now. But they wasn't expecting for my brother to come home. And he's doing pretty good right now. So I want to just say thank you to everybody that watched the channel. And, you know, you guys keep me in my prayer, in your prayers, because I go through quite a bit in my life, you know, I always have. But I've always been an upbeat person, man. I don't let things get me down. Me and you can get into it today and tomorrow. I'm not trying to hold, life is always been too short for me to sit back, hold grudges, and worry about things really that I ain't got no control over. You know, all I can do is try not to get into it with you the next time. But I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to stay mad at you for a week, a month. It's not who I am. But hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. And I'm praying and I'm hoping that somebody is getting something out of these messages that I'm bringing. All right. God bless.